Thank you for making the effort to be out here this cold morning, and let's get right to it. Prior to highlighting this new state-of-the-art facility, I want to welcome several guests who you see seated behind me here. Congressman Gary Palmer, Alabama State Representative Neil Rafferty, Jefferson County Commissioner Lashunda Scales, Birmingham City Councilor Hunter Williams, the Birmingham VA Healthcare System Executive Director Dr. Lottie Kukui, and Dr. David Walker, who's the Director of the VA Southeast Network. Would you welcome our special guest this morning? At this time, we're going to begin with the invocation provided by the first female national chaplain of the Disabled American Veterans, Deborah Varner. Right after that will be the invocation. Geneva Robinson, a patient advocate of over 50 years, will perform the Lord's Prayer. And then Brian Crawford, a Navy veteran, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And then Robert Campbell, the Chief of Mental Health Services here, will sing the national anthem. So would you stand for those four events, please, beginning with the chaplain.
Good morning. Good morning. May we bow our heads. Almighty Creator, it's once and again that we've assembled in a place, and we invoke your presence, for truly you're welcome here. We ask, oh God, the blessings upon this facility and all that enter in. Help us to be reminded and always remember the sacrifice that was given. We ask, oh God, in your blessing that you bless the visionary, every hand, every sponsor, every brick that was laid, every contractor, and everyone whose purpose in their hearts to be a blessing and welcoming and assisting and giving help to those who need help. Help us to remember that we are our brother's keeper. And as we leave this place, we'll leave great memories of knowing that they served this country mightily. They served it with gratitude and thanksgiving. They served, oh God, that we would continue to be free in this nation. Father, we ask all of this, and the people of God said, amen. Amen.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the
Wow, Jeff. I follow that. Face the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, I think after that we can all just go home, right? Hate to follow that, so I'm not going to. I'm going to let the man leading this facility in the Birmingham VA Healthcare System, Executive Director Dr. Lonnie Kikoy, come up and make his opening remarks. Dr. Kikoy?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
What a glorious winter day. It's cold enough outside to remind you it's winter, but it's beautiful enough outside to tell you this is God's work. This is beautiful. Good to see people around, even though the past 2 years have been challenging. And what better thing to do than to commission a mental health building, because there's been a huge demand in mental health needs across the country over the past couple of years, including among our veterans. And we're uniquely equipped as a healthcare system to provide this care. And thanks to the largesse of the federal government and our partners in the community who've helped us in doing this, we're excited to launch today what will be our 10th community-based outpatient clinic. So we're so excited about this because what this does is it allows us to house all our mental health services in the Birmingham area in one place. And it also allows us to bring new services that we didn't have before. So this will include things like specialty clinics for post-traumatic stress disorder, substance use disorder, psychosocial rehabilitation and recovery, which is something we didn't have before. It's like the old day houses, but now it allows us to offer those services to our veterans who need it. We'll also have things including whole health activities like yoga, and we'll have a lab facility where lab work will be done. It's 64,000 square foot, and we'll serve over 25,000 veterans a year. We'll have almost 200 employees here working on our full capacity. This clinic here in the Birmingham East area will have a positive impact on our healthcare system and also in our community. Birmingham has had a lot of good, exciting economic news lately, including the one on the news yesterday about the USFL coming in here. And we also know we are hosting the World Games coming up in a few months. So this is exciting. I went to school here back in the 90s, and it's great to see us be part of a community that's giving back and working together, because the economic impact of having so many employees here and serving so many veterans is incalculable, plus the mental health benefits that we can provide for folks in one centralized area. I'm a psychiatrist by training. My boss, who I'm going to introduce next, is a psychiatrist by training too. So I couldn't be more biased when I say I think what we do in mental health is like the key, what makes the VA special, what makes the VA stand out. Because I've worked in university systems and other systems, and nothing provides as much wraparound and comprehensive mental health services as what we do in the VA. So before I close my remarks, I'd like to recognize the staff of the clinic, all the mental health staff. Please, a round of applause for the staff. Dr. Campbell, who sang the national anthem and who stood up, is our chief of mental health. And unfortunately, he's going to be leaving us next month to go enjoy retirement. He came to us at a time of need, and I know at great personal cost during this pandemic because he's had some personal losses, and he's decided it's time for him to heal himself and work with his family and do other things God has called him to do. So I just want to thank him, and I'm glad we got to do this before he left us. Not everybody could be present. Lots of my staff are watching this on Facebook Live. So I want to give kudos to all those who helped open this that can't be here now. I'd also like to recognize the VA Construction and Facilities Management. Some of you are here. Please raise your hands if you're there so we can recognize you. The real estate broker that helped us with this, United States Federal Properties, Hoffer Walker, Hall Construction, Engineering Service, Shane Minton, who was our chief, and Ariel Williams, who was our contracting officer representative to make sure things were going on time. I'd like to thank our distinguished guests, Congressman Palmer, Representative Rafferty, Commissioner Scales, and Councilor Williams for being here today. I'd like to thank Deborah Varner. I'd like to thank Ms. Geneva Robinson. I'd like to thank you, sir, also for participating. I'd like to thank everybody who's taken the time to show up here today to support us, and I look forward to welcoming you back in the future. And with that said, I'll introduce my boss, Dr. David Walker, who is the Southeast Regional Network Director for the 8 hospitals in the South Carolina, Alabama, and Georgia area for the VA. Dr. Walker.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Kokoy, and thank you for your leadership. And I'd like to thank the entire Birmingham VA Healthcare System leadership team for having me here today to celebrate this grand opening. I'd also like to welcome our congressional and community partners, Congressman Palmer, thank you for being here. Alabama State Representative Ms. Rafferty, thank you. Commissioner Scales, City Councilor Williams, and most importantly, the many veterans and their families who've joined us and those who will benefit from using this newest site of care throughout the entire region in Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. This is the newest facility. So very proud of it. The opening of this clinic is particularly important because it will relocate Birmingham's mental health services to a more convenient, easy, accessible location. You know, I'm an Air Force former Air Force and practicing psychiatrist, and I still see patients on Friday afternoons. I treat opioid addiction, and I have patients back in Mississippi where I was before moving to this position, and I treat patients in the Atlanta area, which is where I'm located now. But this clinic brings us one step closer to doing all of this in this area. The VA Southeast Healthcare Network, our vision is to be the benchmark of excellence in healthcare for veterans across Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. And the only way to achieve this vision is through continuous improvements, including improving our physical space and reimagining how we can better accommodate the healthcare needs of our veterans. And the Birmingham East VA Clinic will allow us to do that. Today, we celebrate the hard work of many dedicated people that have made this new clinic happen, including the executive leadership team of the Birmingham VA and their mental health service line that has already been introduced. But there are also a lot of unsung heroes, the engineering team, which we did hear about, and also the community and congressional partners that understood the need and the importance of this clinic. Thank each of you for your continued support and commitment to veterans, and I am proud to be a part of this remarkable team that continues to push the envelope to improve our veterans, the care and the lives of the veterans we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. Now I'd like to introduce Hunter Williams, who is the District's 2 City Councilor, Chair of the Economic Development Committee, and a member of the Public Safety, Utilities, and Technology Committees. He's also a Deputy Sheriff at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, serving in the New Metro Area Crime Center. Would you welcome Councilor Williams?
Thank you, Jonathan. And I think that resume might be a little stale, but I do appreciate the welcome. I'd like to welcome all of our elected officials here from our congressional delegation, state and county, as well as everybody involved with the VA, whether you're part of the larger system or you're actually going to be specifically working in this facility. And special shout out to you, Ms. Robinson. You know, when you sang the Lord's Prayer, I thought that was the best solo, but then when the national anthem came, I thought I heard you again above everybody else. It's like you have two solos, and your name is only once on this program. So thank you. But on behalf of the city of Birmingham, the entire city council, Mayor Randall Woodfin, I'd like to welcome everybody here today. Today is a very special day in terms of not only this facility being open, but also what it means for economic development for the city as a whole. In the city of Birmingham, we have become a destination medical city. People come from all over the state of Alabama to find top-notch medical care right here in the city of Birmingham. And just like the VA's mission to provide top-notch medical care to those that have served our country, this will only add to Birmingham continuing to become a destination medical city. From a very local impact, right along this Highway 78 Crestwood corridor, this facility will have a very positive impact with the almost 200 full-time jobs at this facility on the south end of the corridor and the newly remodeled and built Amazon distribution facility with 300 full-time jobs and 1,600 part-time jobs. This corridor will forever change in a very positive way. Where this facility sat used to be a hotel that my office got more complaints about prostitution, narcotics trafficking, and other public safety issues than any other place. Second to that was followed by the USA Condo Lodge next door, and I don't know who's in charge of security of this building. If you're here, we have shut that down for you, so you're welcome. So we have taken out two very places that have been detrimental not only to this immediate neighborhood that you see behind us, but really the entire eastern side of Birmingham, as these two locations were the one and two locations that were tying up all of the officers of our East Precinct. So it will have a positive impact on public safety. Having this here, it will have a positive impact on economic development, both on a very local level along this Highway 78 corridor, but also a much larger level with the entire Birmingham metro area continuing to make Birmingham a destination city. And I have about 45 more minutes of comments. No, I appreciate it. I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to the tour and looking forward to the continued success of the VA and its mission. And thank you for everybody who has served in our armed forces that will be participating in this facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Williams. Another publicly elected official very familiar with this area is County Commissioner Lashunda Scales, who represents not only this area, but used to represent this area. I believe this was in your district on the City Council, right?
No, it wasn't.
Absolutely not.
I represent the east side.
But that's east. I know Councilor, now Commissioner Scales, always on the east side. I got that. And these are her folks. Let's welcome Commissioner Scales.
I'm going to take a point of personal privilege this morning. Well, first of all, good morning. This is an exciting time. I will say, before I get started, that Hunter Williams and then our state representative, Neil Rafferty, and we all live in this area. So I was very excited when I saw this building. At first, I didn't know exactly what the building was going to be. And then I realized through someone telling me, they said, hey, that's going to be the place of the new VA clinic. So I want to say to everyone on this panel with me, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the purpose of what I want to leave with you all this morning is intentionality. Intentionality. For myself, my husband is a patient of the Veterans Administration. Okay, and I tell him all the time, if you don't show up for his appointments, make sure that you call him. And I make him feel bad. My father, he also served in the Coast Guard, so he is a patient of the VA clinic, right? And so for me, when I speak of intentionality, We have an awesome price that was paid for us for the freedoms that we have. We couldn't be sitting here today if it were not for those freedoms being protected. But then when these veterans come back home to us, we have to protect them. And so I cannot say enough for what I've been seeing as a transformative. It started when I was a council member, where the VA clinic on the south side, and then we took a parking deck, and now you got that clinic over there. And now you're talking about a mental health facility. Nothing troubles me more than when I see a homeless veteran. And a lot of that is attributed to mental health. So I cannot say enough for all those who were involved, our elected officials, more importantly for the patients who are going to walk through that door and their lives will be forever changed because you have imparted back to them to let them know you matter. So on behalf of County Commission 1 and as the President Pro Tem of the Jefferson County Commission, I say congratulations and thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Commissioner Scales. Please welcome now State Representative Neil Rafferty, who represents District 54, himself a United States Marine Corps veteran. Representative Rafferty.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'll echo the same sentiments of thanks and gratitude to everyone here, from all the elected officials to the design and care team and executive teams that made this all possible here today. As a Marine veteran, has been personally affected by the devastation following the loss of a Marine, I can understand the importance of mental health and the importance of bringing that mental health, not just asking them to reach out, but making sure that we're reaching out to them as well. You hear a lot about the statistics, the numbers, the odds and ends that can highlight and pronounce the disparate impacts of mental health on the veterans community. But even but behind each of those numbers, each of that loss of life or that struggling individual who's struggling with substance use disorder, there's a story of someone's family, community, that's deeply impacted, a friend, a brother, who possessed a rare blend of strength, compassion, and commitment to service, not just to their country, but also to their community. And the pain and loss that that family feels, that the friends feel, the community, country, is sustained when those statistics come into sharp and centered focus. The pain's becoming all too familiar. I don't think that the crisis with mental health is anything new to anybody in this building, absolutely not. So I'm not going to go on and lecture about the numbers and what we need to get done. I can just say that this facility that's specializing in mental health care, this will not just save lives here in East Birmingham and the Irondale communities, but across the region by bringing the care to them. Because once again, we can't wait for them to reach out. We must be reaching out to them, and that is exactly what this facility does. So I'm proud that this facility was built, and I'm proud of each and every single one of you today, that you were able to make this possible. And in that, let's change some lives, let's make a difference, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Rafferty. I echo, I think we all know someone, a veteran who's been affected by mental health struggles, and we all know someone who will be benefiting from this. So I'm so glad we can all celebrate that today. And let's join Congressman Gary Palmer, now elected in 2014. He serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee, also chair of the Republican Policy Committee, and has a special presentation as well. Congressman Palmer.
Thank you, Jonathan, and I appreciate the remarks of Councilman Williams, Commissioner Scales, and Representative Rafferty. I don't know of any other group of people that you will find such solidarity for than our veterans. And thank y'all for your service. There's no other group of people around whom a community rallies like we rally around our veterans. And I'm extremely proud of what the Birmingham VA has done, the hospital, this new facility, the quality of care that's provided. You guys have done a great job. Bob, I hate to see you leaving. Jeff, we hate to see you leave, but you guys have done a great job. And this is just another addition. It's not only what's happening on the corridor in terms of the economy, it's a reflection of our community values. And I'm really proud of what we're doing here. You know, my uncle served during World War II, and he was at the Battle of the Bulge. And for years, he would never talk about it. And I used to write a newspaper column, and I wrote an article about the 60th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. And with the internet, this goes everywhere. And I got an email from a gentleman in Belgium who was 6 years old when the Nazis invaded their country. And he had read that and emailed me and wanted to get in touch with my uncle. And I said, well, I'll give you his phone number. I don't think my uncle did email. But I said, I'll give you his phone number on the condition that you tell me what he says. And a week or so later, I get an email from this guy in Belgium saying all he would say is, we were just doing our job. That's who our veterans are. Now, we've gone through 20 years of war. The battlefield, they've left the battlefield. The guns are silent, but for many of them, they're still on the battlefield. They still hear the guns. And that's what this is about. And I'm like Commissioner Scales. It breaks my heart every time I hear about a veteran being homeless. So I think we've got an opportunity to do great good here to set an example for the rest of the country. And I'm really excited about where we're heading here as a community. With that, we have a little presentation. Mrs. Robinson, if you didn't sing with the New York Metropolitan Opera, they missed out. In honor of this new facility, we had a flag flown over the capital of the United States. And it will be displayed here along with the certificate of authentication that acknowledges that the flag was flown in honor of this new facility. Thank you all.
Thank you, Congressman Palmer. And now we get to the portion where we get to celebrate. Would you all please stand on? I want our guests in the front. If you'll gather right here, our esteemed guests, if you on the podium, if you'll join me right here in front. We'll cut the ribbon on this new facility, and then we encourage you to enjoy the refreshments out there, enjoy each other's company, and we look forward to celebrating the start of services here.
I think everybody's ready with their cameras, Doctor. You got it. No, sir, I got you.